Welcome to my boxing journey. I've just crossed over month 8 here with the former Russian Olympic head coach Vlad. Inside of this Valrico, Florida gym, he is transforming everyone who commits a little bit of time and respect his teaching enough to imitate it into an absolute champion. If you're able to commit 5 days a week, or someone who just is able to commit 1 day a week, like myself, he will transform you, if not into a champion, at the bare minimum, someone who can walk into any room with full confidence knowing that they can protect themselves and everyone that came with them. Coach Vlad not only understands what it takes to be an outstanding boxer, but what it takes to be a well-rounded athlete. He shapes you into an athlete and then transforms that well-rounded athlete into a boxer. He understands human psychology, human body mechanics like no other. Today it was cardio intensive technical work. We started with some jump roping and then we went further into advanced shadow work with him giving us cues and footworks that needed to be understood to capitalize on these combos. And then he stepped in with some imitations of human placement, poking a stick at you when you should move over, when you should duck, and so forth. And then we got on the bag to do the 10-minute to 1-minute sessions, which for me, honestly, were fantastic. Normally around the 30-second mark, I'm pretty much gassed and have to wing it for the rest of the 45 and a minute sessions. But this time I was actually able to make it into the last bit of the 45-second round before exhaustion really hit me. And for that 1-minute round, as tired as I was nowhere near as tired as previously. I haven't done this 10-second, 20, 30, 45-minute session on the bag in quite some time. So to see that progress real time is always fantastic. I also noticed that I still have tons of work to do on my footwork. However, as I continuously come and learn from him, it will get better and better over time, just like that bag work got better. There's a whole bunch of stuff I still need to work on, but I'm so glad I'm being taught by the best. I've been coming to the morning sessions lately. They're much more intimate. It's a less of a class and it's a fresher body for him, just understanding human psychology. He's less tired per se, so he's able to give you more of his energy, and there's less people that he needs to focus on, so it's really more intimate. However, with the more intimacy comes less real world practice because you won't really get the chance to spar. However, both classes are very important to get the intimacy of the one-on-one almost, and then the nighttime to be able to implement what you're learning. So I'm going to try my best to get to a nighttime class soon. However, every time I step into this building, I learn something new, whether that be something physical or something mental. I absolutely love it here. I will see you next week to see what we did and how far my progress is coming along. Okay, we just wrapped up week 2 within this month with Coach Vlad here in Valrico, Florida. Today was cardio intensive, heavy, advanced, technique centered. We started class with jump roping for what felt like an eternity, which was more like 15 to 20 minutes. However, for me, I tried to not stop as much as possible, only stopping really 3 to 4 times. Even if my jump rope got caught on my foot, I still hopped until I was able to swing it back into motion. So that was super impressive to me to see my stamina be able to last that long. And it may have not been going as fast as I could have, but to be able to continuously jump rope for that long without really breaking a sweat. I did start to sweat towards the end, but that is a tremendous increase in stamina highlighted to me. So I'm always proud of my baby wins. I never let one go past because those add up quickly. And then right after, we immediately put on our gloves and our wraps to work on advanced techniques. We worked on attacking combos and then defensive combos, and a mixture of both. Coach Vlad taught about 4 to 5 combos today, really understanding that boxing is swivel, it's elusive, it's creative, it's art more than just thinking you have an opponent and you're going to try to attack your opponent. You have to find ways to manipulate the body to be able to get in reach or to be able to expose your opponent, whether that be moving his hand up to be able to go directly in down the middle with a cross for the chin, or whatever it may be to get inside of your opponent's range. It's not going to be easy without being smart, without outsmarting your opponent So Coach Vlad is one to really be able to teach body oil mechanics properly, to understand what an opponent will be thinking or what its body will be reacting to based upon what you are doing. So I love Coach Vlad because he really understands how the human body works. And for me, I love human psychology. So to see it be taught indirectly like he teaches it always amazes me. And I'm so happy and proud and blessed to be being taught with someone of such knowledge. And I can't wait to see where my progress goes from here. We didn't spar today, so I don't have a spar. I was hoping for a spar because I haven't been able to come to a night class in a very long time. However, it was definitely a different workout than the morning with more people being at night. So I'm blessed regardless to be learning. I will see you next week to see what we learned and how my progress is coming along. Okay, we just wrapped up week 3 here with Coach Vlad, which is the day after Junior Olympics, and our entire team, besides one individual who barely came home without the victory, all came home with the victory. I'm speaking English to you here, so hopefully you're watching this understanding English, and if not, turn your subtitles on with translation and listen to what I just said. Coach Vlad is turning individuals who have never stepped into the ring into junior Olympians. This man is inside training absolute champions with each class and each day that goes by. Today was a smaller class, so we worked on the Russian circuit, and I want to push myself, so I am giving it my all for each individual exercise for 3 minutes. We're talking about jump rope and we're talking about abs. I had to sit in a V, straight legs, 45-degree angle, throwing the ball on each side. Coach looked at me and said, "Oh, that's too easy. All right, let me step it up a notch for you." He said, "Move your feet around this stick." I was moving around it for a couple of times, and after that, it was almost borderline torture in a good way. Coach Vlad, seeing me keep going and pushing myself, and as I was dying, he said, "Okay, time to up it again. Let me see those abs." So I got into straight lines, boom, 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 boom. That's why I love Coach Vlad. He sees that I'm working and I'm pushing myself as much as I can, and he knows I have more inside of me. That's why I absolutely love to learn from the best in the game. He understands how to turn individuals into absolute monsters of an athlete, and then transforms that absolute monster of an athlete into a professional boxer. We're going abs, we're going throwing the barbell, we're throwing shadow boxing in the ring. And what I'm loving is my shadow boxing is even coming together and more confident to where I'm shadow boxing, but I can kind of see what I'm doing in real time. I'm outside of my body seeing what I'm doing because my body is comfortable with the techniques that I'm throwing. So after we get through the entire circuit, after last week's class, which was packed within a spar, so after giving it my entire all for the entire circuit, because of the small classes, I know we're not doing anything after. Regardless, I'm going to give it my all. But he says right after we finish the circuit, "Okay, wrap your hands, put your gloves on, and headgear, everything." I said, "What? With an empty class?" But it's actually just enough people to be able to spar efficiently and get in and out the ring without it taking too long or without it being too commotion. So it honestly makes sense. However, I got in the ring with Mario, which was a great sparring practice partner. The first round for me felt phenomenal. I felt so secure. I felt understanding with my hands, being able to throw certain combos from hooks, from uppercuts, and throwing my hands in unique ways. From the hooks, with my hand being twisted, to the uppercuts, to the fakes, from going uppercuts to the hook, and a whole bunch of other techniques, advanced techniques that is directly from Coach Vlad's playbook. And then later on, I noticed that my stamina started to diminish tremendously because I started to throw my punches a little too hard each individual time, which Coach was trying to tell me real time, but I didn't really get the cue until a little too late, mid-third round, and I started to really diminish in the late first round and early second round. So there's a lot of cues I still need to work on. I haven't actually seen the videos. However, I know they should be much better than my previous spar, but I know there's still so much to work on. I was getting extremely tired to where I couldn't move my head. I wasn't cutting and changing angles as much as I could, even to the point where just standing still, taking hits and trying to deliver them back instead of moving. So there's definitely a lot of stamina that still needs to be worked on, but I'm very proud of what I'm proud of, and which is baby step progress. There's still so much to be worked on. That's why I'm coming here at least once a week. The goal honestly would be to free up some time, free up some money so I can come here more often and eventually compete. Yes, I said it officially. I have been mumbling the words here and there to certain friends, but I would love in a year or two to actually compete with Coach Vlad. I just need to be able to invest a little bit more time. Once a week is not enough. However, I'm absolutely loving my progress here so much. So I'm going to continue to come here and showcase my progress to you and showcase the progress to myself. I like to see it for myself, to see what I'm doing. So here's the spars from today, and I'll see you next week to see what we did and how my progress is coming. Okay, we just finished up the last week here training with Coach Vlad, and today was another stellar class. We stuck with body weight training today, working on a different workout that we haven't done before as far as the warm-up. Normally we do the laps around the gym or jump roping, but today he did a personalized back-to-back workout routine from holding push-ups on your knuckles to high knees to straight leg high knees to several other body weight exercises, squats, but back to back, and each exercise individually isn't too tedious, but after doing each one without a break for 5 to 10 minutes definitely adds up quite quickly. And then we pretty much stood with the theme of body weight today. We picked up the dumbbells, did some shadow work on one leg, we put them dumbbells down, did the shadow work without the dumbbells, and then we worked on some combos by ourselves with the dumbbell, and then eventually partnering up later with a partner. And then we worked on some jump roping towards the end, and today was highlighted to me that I still have tons work to do on my footwork still. And what I noticed also from sparring a little bit more often, even outside of this gym, shall I say, is my eyes. I also need to focus where I plant my eyes when I'm doing my combos and moving my feet, because I'm using my peripheral vision, because I'm assuming that it's because my body still isn't naturally prepped for boxing style fighting or just fighting in general. So I'm so worried about what my body's doing that I'm focusing so much on my body that I can't really focus on outside of my body. So I'm guessing that's the cue that my body's telling myself, well, why not to look. But once I do remind myself, hey, look, use your eyes, my body actually has a target now to apply those combos. So there's so many different cues and nuances that you need to pick up on any lesson or any new skill you're trying to acquire, but especially one that requires your sight, any athletic endeavor. So it was definitely nice to have that highlighted to me. Coach is a phenomenal coach, training absolute athletes in here. I would love to up my classes to 2 times a week, but I'm pretty sure that's not going to happen anytime soon. I'm thinking maybe 6 months from now. However, it is in the air. I would love to compete in the next 2 years. So that is now in the air. So cool to just have came from just being one to want to expand myself and train myself to be the best version of myself, whether that be gymnastics, Olympic weightlifting, or here doing boxing, to now just wanting to go a little further and see what else I can do here with Coach Vlad, and see if I can go inside a ring and showcase what I've been learning over these last couple of months, and at that point it would have been years. So I'm super proud to be here learning from the absolute best. If you want to start to learn anything, it doesn't matter how old you are, how many people told you can't do it, how many times you told yourself you were going to start but you didn't, and it's been 2-3 years and you're like, well, I should have started then. Or no, don't let any excuse or any reason stop you from attempting at anything that you want to do in life. Life is too short to live with regrets. So pick up the new hobby, pick up the new skill, take the solo trip, take the group endeavor, do whatever that sets your heart on fire, because little do you know how time is going to never come back. Once it's gone, it's gone. So take me as an inspiration. Mid-20s, never boxed in my life, doing my best, learning from the absolute best, and doing and trying, even though I'm nowhere near professional, but I'm in here trying my best. So thank you for spending your time here with me today, and enjoy the rest of your day. I'll see you next month to see how much progress I made and how it looks.